Yes, I know. We normally do the match reviews up the day after the match, but we're not going to be around tomorrow, so you've got to put up with us at this ungodly hour. But guys, if you're new to the channel, or if you've been here plenty of times before, you know the drill. If you wouldn't mind, drop a like on this particular stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that bell, and you'll be notified as and when we're going live or we've uploaded something for you to get your teeth into. Duke, it was in the end, it was a relatively straightforward performance, wasn't it, from the team that David Moyes put out? A 3-0 away victory in a dead rubber. It could have been a bit of a banana skin. It was anything but.
Where, Robert, can I start?
Once upon a time is usually...
You know what? Those sort of stories, yes, would be quite apt for the age of... I don't want to say kids, because they didn't play like kids tonight.
No,
although
very mature.
I'm not being funny. As I said to you before we came live, Keenan Forson was warming up, or was about to come off the bench, and I was watching the game with 5 or 6 other West Ham fans, and obviously my daughter, who's 18. And I turned around and went, bloody hell, Grace, he looks younger than you. To which she replied, Dad, the 2 that are on the pitch already actually are. And I was like, oh, shit, I feel really old. So I don't want to call them kids, because they played, as I say, they played like anything but, Rob, to be fair. The youngsters, I'm gonna say youngsters, because I tell you what, there's something there. As I've put in the chat there, the future is as bright as the orange on our third kit. They were
Hey, Rebecca.
Tonight, hi B. They were phenomenal tonight, the youngsters. I've got to say, I mean, listen, you know the story, okay?
I do.
With Mubama, Ollie Scarles, Lewis Orford.
I do.
You know the story behind this. What I will say is I know someone,
Richard.
I know a couple of people that have spent a lot of time with Ollie Scarles, have spent a lot of time with Divin Mubama and Lewis Orford, and these guys, they cannot sing their praises enough, Rob. These guys, when they saw them named in the lineup, there were a dozen or so messages pinged backwards and forwards between me and these 2 guys, which I obviously then shared with yourself and a couple of the others. You're mad, I tell you. You are off your rocker. I love you, though.
Neil doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep, does he, in the slightest?
He prowls the outback. All sorts of ungodly hours.
He prowls the outback, or the outback of YouTube. Take your pick.
How you doing, Neil? Hope you're well.
I'll be honest with you. As I've said, the future is as bright as our orange. Yeah, you know what, Richard?
It's amazing what happens when that's where the striker stays.
I tell you what, right? I don't want to kind of jump ahead on shit, Rob, but I also want to get it out there. Actually, no, I'm going to wait, because I'm going to really roll some people up. So I need a couple of more people in the chat and a couple of more people watching live if we can, because our left wing.
You 10 that are watching, get mates in, and then we can make 10, 20, and then wind some people up.
Someone go find Fever and Scott Fenn. Really quick. Come on, go find them. I'm going in. Go find Scott Fenn. Go find Fenn and Fever. I'm going in. Double footed.
You bastard. You're starting trouble already. We've only been going for 5 minutes and 20 odd seconds.
And I'll tell you what, if I may,
yes,
for our lovely human being that's above us right now, this is for Peach, because he would have really appreciated tonight. He would have really appreciated seeing the youngsters. He would have really appreciated this. So this one's for Peach. The game, the celebrations, the lot. It's for the big man upstairs.
And Phil's come in and said, nights like this special. He's 68 years young, and seen many of them. The youngsters should celebrate tonight. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll be very professional about it. I'm sure they won't have a bottle of Magners. Maybe
there'll be sparkling Perrier water on the plane. On the I don't know. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be a plane. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Rob, you do you, and then I'm going to come in with my bits as we go, because I could quite easily. I've spent the last 2 hours downstairs with West Ham fans. Just literally, I haven't stopped talking. Downstairs,
That's nothing new.
Just waxing about these kids. Please stop me before I keep going, because
look, I'll tell you what I'll do.
About the take game, we'll talk about the kids.
I'll tell you what we'll do, right? I'll get the promo for Iron supporting food banks out the way for these 12 people. And if these 12 people can at least get one mate each, and then we can get 24. And if 2 of those mates are Scott and James, you want to have a little bit of fun with them, apparently. I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth, ladies and gentlemen, but I can probably hazard a guess.
You know what's coming out of my mouth.
Well, the usual bollocks, probably, but anyway, right, let's play the promo. Forge from Iron is proud to support Iron supporting food banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone full screen with it straight away. So that was the starting lineup, Duke. An hour and a half before the kickoff, so around about 6:30, that was announced. And it was. Sorry?
I was asleep.
Oh, well. Areola was in goal. Back 3 was Ogbonna left, Johnson right, Aguerd in the centre, who I thought had another assured and unruffled performance. I know it's only 2 performances in the first team, but
you're talking about Aguerd.
Yeah, not Nathan.
No, I thought you were talking about Ben. We were going to have conversations.
No. Naef Aguerd.
He was superb. Yeah, carry on.
Anyway, Ollie Scarles, who we've referenced, was playing as a left wing back essentially. Vladimir Kufal was a right wing back with Lanzini and Coventry in central mid. Now they've got it as a front 3 of Fornals left, Downs right, and Mubama as through the middle. I didn't quite see it that way myself. I thought it was more a 3-4-2-1, but we're probably splitting hairs there. But when you saw that, what were your initial thoughts? Did you sort of think, well, yeah, I mean, if they sort of get a bit of a pasting, then it is what it is. But
I'll tell you what. So as I say, when this was announced, I was on my arse. I was asleep in this chair.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. It's lucky we weren't live, because I was like this, right? I was out for the count. Now, literally after you finished your video, I closed my eyes and that was it.
I bored you shitless, did I?
Yeah, I won't lie to you. It weren't far off. Now,
I was waiting for someone to come and join me. I was lonely.
Oh no, I was going to, but I quite enjoyed being this side of it and just being a prick.
Yeah, you're a prick.
Now, I put Gio on.
Oh, good luck to him, Rich. Tell him we said good luck in the morning.
Yes, he'll be fine. I put Hammer's chat on here, and kind of just put my head back and listened. And I'll be honest, I was a bit miffed that Johnson had started or Soufal, take a pick, had started ahead of Harrison Ashby, as
Same.
has been the whole encompass of the videos that I've watched from Hamish Chat, Claret and Booze, ourselves, etc., right? So,
Yeah.
It was quite obvious we all wanted Ashby to start. So I was quite miffed. Now, as I kind of came to about half past 7, and I started I got into my chats, WhatsApp and whatnot, and there was apart from ours, Rob, and that I've messaged you and a couple of others privately with regards to a couple of names that were on the starting lineup and one young lad that was on the bench who sadly didn't get off the bench, which was quite a shame because I would have loved to have seen what he could have done. But that being said, the person I feel he probably would have replaced would have been Connor Coventry, and it was also nice to see him get 90 minutes. But the two names in question were obviously young Ollie Scarles, 68, out there on the left wing, and Divin Mubama, 72 up top. And I've got to say, from what was being said about these two young lads and Lewis Orford on the bench, they were being bigged up. Now, I'm also guilty of bigging those three names up because what I was told, I then told to you guys, yourself and the guys in the YouTube chat, if you will. Now, I was so excited from the opening 10 minutes, Rob. Mubama looked like a centre forward. Okay, yes. He was 17 years old, Rob. He makes me look small. Okay, he is big, he is bullish, and I tell you what, he didn't look out of place, Rob. Now, You and I have argued the fact, and I've said it several times over the last couple of videos. I'm a big advocate of scrapping the PL2. Okay, massive advocate of scrapping.
I wouldn't say we've argued because I don't disagree with you.
I'm a massive advocate of scrapping the youngsters playing in what is the Papa John's Trophy. Okay, I'm a massive advocate of getting rid of this bollocks.
Don't about that. I mean, playing in the Papa John's, they're playing against men.
Yeah, no, but I'll tell you why. Because it's the only time they might come up against men, if you will, 3 times a season, and that's in the Papa John's Trophy, right? Unless they're good enough that they go through, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Get rid of all of that bollocks and move these kids into a loan system. Let's send these guys out to Fulham Road. Yeah. Let's send these guys out to Deepdale. Let's send, to a degree, let's send these guys out to here from Belvedere and Welling at Parkview Road, Rob, and Princes Road at Dartford. Let's get these guys up against, blokes that are 34, 35 that have done the rounds, that know the dark arts of football.
Yep.
Right? Essentially, what you saw tonight with Mubama, Ollie Scarles, and Connor Coventry, and the guys that came off the bench, right? Swire, Ashby, Forson, Potts, Casey. Casey's another name. A very assured centre-back, very confident on the ball, very comfortable. There was one pass that he made across our 6-yard box that made my arsehole fall out, but he looked so comfortable doing so that I went, yeah, all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
If that had been, maybe Dawson at some point, I would have cried. But this kid just went, "Now have that." He passed it across our 6-yard box to Naif Agurd and went, "Now, mate, deal with that. You got it,
Nathan."
And I'm like, what? That's what? You're 16, 17, 18 years. Behave yourself, son. You should not be passing with that much confidence in a Europa League conference tie. This is a European competition. Now, that being said, these youngsters would be playing against this sort of level if they went out on loan, Rob. You see where I'm getting, yeah? So go back to the start of the game, and I see these three lads, these three young lads, if you will, Mubama, Ollie Scarles, and Connor Coventry. I say Connor Coventry being a young lad, he's done the rounds, but he was in the starting lineup. And then you see the bench, Rob, and I look at that bench and go,
yeah.
Other than Randolph, where's the rest of them? Like, what? If this goes wrong, and listen, it can't go wrong because we've already qualified. But if this goes wrong, where are the bodies we bring off the bench? Where are these bodies we bring off the bench to make it right? Like, you know what I mean? You see where I'm getting at now.
Yeah. Where's the experience?
Now, that being said, we didn't need that.
No.
And I felt that the three lads that started, I think Connor gave a good account of himself.
He did.
And I'd like to think that between him and Downs, there's
Hammer.
There's the interesting play out of what happens now behind the scenes with the Souček Rice kind of conundrum. You've now got Coventry and Downs that are going, knock, 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 boss, woo, over here, because, they both were really good tonight.
I
really
got a funny feeling, though, that probably Coventry is not going to be here next season, personally.
No, but listen, he didn't.
But I get what you're saying.
Tonight. And I'll tell you what, it was nice to see the British female tennis player, the one that the one that you won the US Open a couple of years ago. What was that?
Oh, Emma Raducanu.
Yeah, she came on as a sub today, number 80 for Fcsb. Did you see that? She came on. It was really nice. There, look.
Passed me by. But
look, number 80 on the screen.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
You've got no fun in you, Rob. No fun in you.
No.
What happens when you get old?
It's late. I was up early this morning. Do you mind?
What happens when you get old? Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, so... But yeah, I thought same as you, mate. I thought that there was a certain freshness about the team. They played without pressure. I mean, obviously it was a dead rubber, so there wasn't any pressure fundamentally. It's not like we had to go into this match today and we had to get a result that ensured our progression, that ensured that we won the group or anything like that. So the pressure was off, and they played, like I say, with a freshness, with an abandon, with a courage, a freedom. That was we haven't seen that this season, really, have we? For a lot of games, it seems that we've played almost with a little bit within ourselves, with a little bit of fear and apprehension. That's how it's looked to me in a lot of games that we've had in the Premier League. Certainly in the first half of a lot of games. Today that wasn't the case. From the word go, they were at it. I mean, look, you could argue that they're a poor team, but I'm fairly sure that they would have wanted to sign off with some sort of positive result. And we completely nullified the team. We silenced the crowd. I mean, Scarles, I've got to be honest with you, Duke. In my opinion, I think him on that left-hand side put in the best performance from anyone on the left-hand side of our flat on the left flank, of putting balls into the box and putting it into areas where the forward players can sort of like get onto it, in my opinion. Now, other people out there might say, no, I'm not quite sure about that. That's fine, but it's my opinion, rightly or wrongly. I thought he was magnificent.
If I may, Robert.
Of course you may.
If I may, I think he looked more dangerous with his deliveries of the ball. We'll
talk about that later, Hammer.
1 touch, 2 touch into the box. He looked more deadly than a £25 million signing that we have.
Oh, now I know why you wanted Scott and James.
I think he looked better And I know what we're going to say. I look at the team we were playing. You know what?
That is true.
He touched it. He got the ball. There was a first time pass into the box early in the first half, Rob, which Mubama. It was a good save.
Good save from the keeper, wasn't it?
It was a good save by the keeper. But that ball from Scarles, first time, I may hasten to add, okay, first time in between, in what you call that dead zone between the goalkeeper and the back, or what the centre backs.
Jeffrey Boycott would term to corridor of uncertainty.
Corridor of uncertainty.
My granny could have caught it in her pinny.
He put the ball into that gap. I'd say 3 or 4 times tonight, Rob.
Yes, he did.
And 2 occasions they led to goals. Right, 3 occasions they led to 2 occasions they led to goals. One of them wasn't him. The first occasion, hang on.
Well, the first goal was Johnson's.
Johnson's ball. I actually thought that was a Gerd. I'm not going to lie. I actually completely lost who that was. He had the save from the keeper from Mubama.
Yep.
Okay. Then he put the ball in where it went across goal, didn't it? Like it was I think it was near post, and Mubama was like that close. I know you can see that it was that close.
It's about the size of your penis, isn't it?
Easy now. It works. That's all that matters, Rob. It works, right? And then there was
Ram twice.
And then there was a couple of occasions where, we had the shot, and there was one towards the end of the second half where you could see, and considering his age, it would make sense at 16. He was literally working out trigonometry in his head of angles and acuteness and all the rest of it. And he literally rolled that past the post, at the far post. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that he should start the Premier League game on Sunday against Palace. I'm not.
No.
Right?
No,
and I'm not saying that he should start the game against Leicester the week after. I'm telling you now, I'd love to see that boy start against Blackburn in the Cup. Because I will be absolutely honest with you, right? Every time I'm going to say it, he's 16 years old. Jesus wept. He's 28 years younger than me, right? He's 16 years old. Every time that kid got the ball, he had me stood there actually at the table going, what you got? Go on. Go. And the same with Mubama, Rob. Every time that guy... I'm gutted he wasn't given the goal. I'm gutted he wasn't.
Yeah, that seemed a bit mean from UEFA.
Apart from the fact I had a fiver on him to score any time. That's not the point. I was gutted he wasn't given the goal because to tell you what, Richard, he looked again like just a poacher. Does that because there were a couple of times he was really deep, but in and around that box, he looked a monster tonight. He was throwing himself around. He wanted his goal. And I tell you what, when he got that header that was deflected in, he gave it that. He kind of did a Ronaldo.
He's a Newham lad, isn't he?
He kind of bullshit. But he gave it that and threw his arms at his side. And I stood there and went, I love that. I love that. And did you know that Mubama joined the club at 8 years old, Rob, as a left back?
Really?
8 years old as a left back, and he led the line. And I tell you what, he led the line really, really well this evening. As I said at the start, the BT Sport guys, when they went to an advert after the game, they had someone outside the London Stadium wearing sunglasses. And yeah, you know what? Our future is that bright. I know we were talking with. I think Hammerhead actually mentioned it. We were talking about, or not Hammerhead, Hammer 89 was talking about the the kids coming through and everything else last night. And we said about, we've not had a decent crop since, Carrick, Ferdinand, Lampard, that kind of era. We've not had a crop come through. Tell you what, Rob, I'm really excited about these kids. Mubama, Coventry looked the deal tonight. I know you say he might not be in next season, but, Ollie Scarles, there's a lot of talk about, especially from the people that I know about Lewis Orford. Declan Rice Mark II. He's been given the the moniker, if you will.
Freddie Potts is quite highly rated as well by a lot of
Freddie
people that
Potts
I know.
didn't look out of place. Who's the Casey? Didn't look out of place when he came on. Like I say, he gave me that little heart attack when he played it across our goalkeeper. I was like, but he was confident enough to do so. To quote a friend of mine, and I know he's watching. So I hope he doesn't rip my face off at this point. He actually used, where is it? I want to find it. Neil, where are you? He says, miles away from it. He says about this is the best crop of youngsters that we've had come through for a long time. Like that includes like there you go. Divin, Ollie, and Lewis O are the ones. Regan C is very good also. Caelan Casey is very calm at centre back. We've got some good players coming through, and to quote him, miles ahead of the previous generations that have failed.
Wow.
Now, I know he's watching, and I hope he doesn't mind me quoting him on that. And he's online on WhatsApp, so I know I'm going to find out very shortly whether he minds me saying that. But, the fact he's named, 5 or 6 players there, of which they're all in the squad tonight, it does speak quite highly of our academy, if you will.
And the thing is, as well, I mean, he's played
Divine. I've been told his name's Divine.
Yeah, I thought it was spelled with Divin.
Sorry,
is how it's spelled, but they did pronounce it Divine.
He actually says here, Rob, if I may.
Yep.
I love this. He actually says that he used to be his mannequin. He used to to quote, little shit would turn up to training an hour early and do 30 or 40 minutes coaching before anyone else was there. Elite mentality. So, I don't want to say I've got inside knowledge, because that's not the case. These guys used to work with these lads, some time ago, but they know about them.
Yeah, just looking here on the transfer market, he's 16 years of age, as we say. He's going to be 17 on the 12th of December. He's got caps for the England under-17s as well as the 16s and the 15s. Look at his stats this season. He's got 3 assists in the under-18s in 4 appearances. He's got in Premier League 2, which I know you're not a fan of. He's made 5 appearances there. He's made 2 appearances in the EFL Trophy. They've actually got him down. His positions he's mainly, according to this, his main position is defensive mid. And his other position is a centre-back. They don't actually mention him here as a left wing-back, but he is left-footed, as you could clearly see in the match today. He's got a wand of a left foot.
Oh, mate. I'll tell you what. Both Gandalf, Harry Potter, and Dumbledore would love to have that wand. I'll tell you now, he was picking out passes, and I'll tell you what, it was confidence, Rob, as well, right?
Yep.
It was the fact that it'd take the touch, and then he'd look. He'd take the touch, he'd look, he'd wait. He'd wait for the right moment to play that pass. None of it was rushed. None of it was like. Don't get me wrong. I get that he wasn't put under a great deal of pressure tonight before he threw those passes into the box.
Yeah,
he waited. He waited for the right moment. He was watching Mubama watching Mubama to make that run, and then he pinged that cross in. And I tell you what, as we said earlier, that corridor of uncertainty between the goalkeeper and the centre backs, he put it in there 3 or 4 times. And I tell you what, Mubama was unlucky with the first one. He actually created, I think, the third one. You know, when he actually goes in on the keeper.
Yeah,
I think it was a near post cross. It goes in on the keeper. The keeper flaps, pushes, punches, does whatever it is, and it falls obviously to Fornals where it does. And he puts it in, but that was made by the cross and Mubama going in on the keeper. And it was a shame, as Hammerhead says there. It's a real shame that didn't go down as Mubama's goal.
Yeah.
But to tell you what, he really deserved it, Rob. Really, really deserved it.
In answer to Hammer 89's question, is he a winger or a fullback? There's, as I say, if you look there on Transfer Market, it doesn't actually mention him as a fullback or a winger. But if you go on, there's an article I'm looking at here on Football London, and they actually say that he is a versatile left back. That's how they describe him. So,
well, if I may, Rob,
please do.
A bit of inside information that has just reached my inbox.
Go for it.
Scarles, he played in central midfield about a month ago when I last saw him.
Yep.
He's the number 8 box to box, but he has always played as a left back, left wing.
Okay.
So, for me, stick him as a left winger. My God, the kid is composed, he's competent, and at 16 years old, Rob, he's only going to get better as he gets older, surely.
Or could he even sort of like be the heir of Aaron Cresswell? Could he be? Do you think he could? He could be.
No,
and the thing is, I'm aware of the comments between. I'm aware of the comments between Patrick and Hammer 89, and Hammer 89 is of the opinion that if he's good enough, then he's old enough, and Patrick's a little bit more. We need to try and sort of protect him, and I think the truth is probably somewhere in between.
And I'd like to point out from Hammerhead, I know exactly what you're on about, and yeah, you're right, he does. But you know what? He's just. I'd like to see him higher up the pitch, Rob. Personally,
you want him as a conventional winger.
I know what my source says, if you will. I feel bad, but I know what he says there about him being a box to box and he can play left. I actually, because he was so composed with those crosses, Rob, and as I said earlier, about bringing certain people into the chat and taking the piss slightly. I actually do believe in this one game he had more impact as a left-sided player putting balls into the box with accuracy than Mubama has done all season. Ooh. And I know people are going to dig me out because it was a nothing game and everything else. But you know what? That's what our players on that side are there for, Rob. That's what they're there to do. And he was calculated. He was confident. And the crosses that he made were on point, comfortable. And I tell you what, Mubama could have had 2 or 3 tonight, bar the one that was not given to him. He could have had 2 or 3 tonight because the balls into the box by Scarles were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, like I say, I've seen the comments going back and forth in the chat. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting. Sorry?
This I agree with.
These boys have a chance, but they're only starting out. Premiership is different. Egg. Look at the time our new signings take. I on board. I mean, I'm not for 1 minute saying, oh, he's got to start against Crystal Palace. I'm not. But what I would say is I want these guys involved as much as possible in and around the first team squad, training and involve them in the matchday squads. Get them on the bench, even if they're not going to come off the bench. Or if they do, it's a fleeting 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. They're getting experience of Premier League football. They're getting experience of the whole what comes with being a Premier League footballer. Some young players can't adapt to that sort of gear change between playing under 18s, under 21s football in front of about 50 people to stepping out into a stadium and you've got 60,000 people that are all screaming and shouting. It's a real culture shock to some kids, but I want to get them involved in it. I want them to sort of like be in amongst it, get them a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Acclimatized. Get them acclimatized to Premier League football. Like I say, I'm not for 1 minute saying stick him in the first team against Palace, let him, start him, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. But I think that this guy's a talent. You can see it straight away. This guy has got something. And left-footed players, you know, Duke, left-footed players are something of a premium.
Premium, yeah, without a doubt.
So get him in amongst the first team squad. I'm not saying start him, but I would like to see him. I would like to see him, same as you. I'd like to see him involved against Blackburn. I'd like to see him maybe coming on in the last 5-10 minutes against, say, Leicester or Palace, or maybe even both. Just the last little runabout. If the game's already decided, especially, I understand if the game's on a knife edge and it could go one way or the other. But if you've got a situation where we're either up or down by an amount of goals and there's 5-10 minutes left, and you know that the situation's either not retrievable for them or for us, fuck it, sling him on, let him have a runabout.
Yeah,
but there you go. That's just my 2 pence. I know that you have to protect them, but at the same time, I do kind of get what Hammer 89's saying. If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Listen, I see where they're all coming from, and you can't compare Rooney.
It's all smoke and mirrors, Walsh. You don't believe a word of it.
You can't compare Rooney to anyone else. You can't, because Rooney went from Everton to United very, very quickly, and was protected. Let's not lie. He had the likes of the players that he had around him.
Who was the manager that brought him through?
Yeah.
He also, Hammer 89 said about he doesn't know who else he brought through. He did bring through Adnan Januzaj into the Manchester United first team, didn't he? But
did he do Makeda as well? Was he the one that was responsible for Federico Makeda?
Did he bring through Makeda, or was that Van Gaal?
It might have been Van Gaal. But all I'll say on that is Rooney when he went to United, he had like enforcers around him. Let's not dick around.
Yeah, true.
If anyone went near him, you got stamped on by the likes of Keane and whatever else was around you. You got stamped on. So he was very much protected when he went United. But again, that being said, I agree with, where is it? Patrick says Rooney was a tank. The kid's still growing, getting his legs taken from under him every week by a slower 30-year-old. It's going to take his toll. And he's right in what he says. These youngsters have to be brought through very, very carefully, especially in this day and age. Very, very carefully, very, very, not slowly, but
not so slowly that they don't see that there's a progression.
Yes,
there has to be that balance.
Perkins and Ashby.
Probably Ashby, yeah.
But I listen, Ollie Scarles, Lewis Orford, Divine Mubama even, Connor Coventry, Caelan Casey. These guys look the real deal, Rob. From what I've seen tonight, in a European competition, confident, competent, they look the real deal. I think, I know we spent a lot of time talking about the youngsters and not really the game itself.
Rightly so.
But they deserve it, and I really, really do believe that over the next few years, we'll be seeing significantly more of these kids.
Do you want to do player ratings, old chap?
Can we?
I think we probably should. So, and you guys in the live chat, there's 25 of you because we had 28, but 3 of you are pissed off because you've probably got an offer from the missus. You're all on a promise or whatever.
Well, 13 of them have joined us because Hammers chat have stopped. So it's all right.
That's fine, I suppose. Swings and roundabouts. So you guys can get involved as well. We're going to do the old player ratings. I haven't knocked up a graphic, so you'll have to forgive me. Roll credits. Okay, matey. Right. Talk to me about Alphonse Areola. How are you ranking him?
What can you say about a guy that had absolutely nothing to do?
No, not an awful lot. I mean, looking here at the stats, they had 1 shot on target.
Oh, 10 then. 10, he saved it.
100% save record.
100% save record, 10, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I don't think you can give him a 10, can you?
He kept a clean sheet and he had 100% save ratio. 10. What do you want? I'll tell you what, 9. I reckon he ballsed up a pass out at some point, so 9. I'll be nice, yeah.
Well, Phil's giving him a 9. James has said clean sheet and a 7. Patrick's he's obviously on a promise because he's said the whole team gets a 12, except Zuma, who gets a 20.
I have to say, I thought Souček was really poor tonight. He was literally
didn't see him. Awful. Awful.
I
dear,
don't
oh dear. Ogbonna.
Drink. Ogbonna, 8.
8?
Yeah, just cause we kept a clean sheet. What do you want?
Oh, okay.
And he helped the kids. He talked the kids through the game.
Yeah, no, I've got to be honest. You could see he was leading the orchestra. He was like the conductor. Wasn't he?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Nathan.
Nathan, I'm going to say an 8 as well. Again, he basically, I don't think he put a foot wrong. A guard.
No.
I don't think he put a foot wrong. Some of his passes were top draw. There was a couple in the first half where he was raking passes to the left. And the one thing I will say about Ollie Scarles is he grew into the game. There was, I think, the first 10 minutes, there was a couple of passes that were raked left. And he was kind of a little bit deeper, not on his toes as such, and he didn't get to them. Do you know what I mean? He kind of didn't race through. So, but again, tried to find him a couple of times. I'm going to give a guard a 9, Rob. Ogbonna a 9, Areola a 9, and
even despite the fact that the opposition were, and I don't mean to be unkind, but dog shit, I think is the word I'm looking for.
I get where you're saying dog shit, but we didn't concede. The goalkeeper had 1 shot to face that was on target. Job done by the centre backs. You can't ask much more from them. Yeah. If they coach the kids through it,
you can only play who you're against.
So 9.
Okay, fair enough.
9 for the first 3 that you've given me. Carry on.
Okay, Ben Johnson. This is where it's going to go a little. You're going to break the pattern now, aren't you? He's not getting a 9, is he?
I want to give him an 8, Rob.
Okay.
But I'm so fucking tempted to give him a 4.
Ooh, that's a bit harsh. He got an assist.
I'm actually going to come in and give him a 7.
Okay.
There were several times, Rob, where I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, honestly, I held my face in my hands, going, "What's he doing now? Shit the bed!" Like, I'm going to give him a 7 because we won and there was only 1 shot on target. But there were a few times where there was passes misplaced, there was control that was dog shit. There was stuff where I'm thinking, you said earlier we were talking about the academy players coming through. Listen, it was a long punt. Behave yourself. It was great. No, I'm taking the piss. It was a great pass, but it was a long punt.
It was a Sam Allardyce special, was it?
We were talking about players that have made 50 games for the club, at the academy, etc., etc. You mentioned Johnson. Tonight wasn't a performance where I felt that I'd feel confident of him coming in against Palace and Leicester. Let's put it that way. I'm going to give him a 7 and be nice.
before we go on, do you think that, because there was a discussion, I was on a WhatsApp group during the match. Do you think that Ben Johnson kind of suffers as a result of his versatility? Because is he a right back,
No,
left back?
no,
Is he a right sided centre back?
listen,
Is he
Rob,
defensive mid?
passing a fucking football more than 10 yards for a professional footballer should be as straightforward as you buttering a slice of toast in the morning. Okay? You being able to cut the crust.
You say that, but why
Okay.
is it when you drop a slice of buttered toast, it always lands butter side on the floor? Why?
Because it's heavier on that side, Robert. Work out physics and then come and talk to me. Don't be a dick. I've had a drink. We're talking about this, right? Now, no, a 10-yard pass, 20-yard pass should be quite straightforward, right?
Yep.
Controlling a ball for a professional footballer should be quite simple. There were several occasions where he couldn't do either, controlling or passing, and it frustrates the shit out of me. And you say that, he's kind of a victim of his own circumstance. Passing's passing, whether you play left back, right back, centre back. Controlling the ball is the same as a left back, right back, centre back. It makes no difference where you play on a pitch. Those two things are quite straightforward and you shouldn't have to change what you do. How do you change controlling the ball when you play centre back or left back or right back? You don't. It's controlling a football.
Well, obviously, if you're playing a right back, all the angles are different when you play left back and vice versa.
No, Robert.
No.
No.
It is. You know it is.
No. It's the same shit. It's just a different side of the pitch. It's the same shit, right? And if you can't do one, it doesn't matter.
When have you ever seen Craig Dawson play as a left-sided centre back?
If he can't control the ball on the left, he's not going to be able to control the ball on the right.
But when was the last time you saw Craig Dawson play as a left-sided centre-back? He never does.
Listen,
he always plays on the right.
I'll have you know, Craig Dawson scored 30 goals in a season, right? West Ham won the Europa League. West Ham won the League Cup. And we finished top 4. He only missed out on winning the Golden Boot because Callum Wilson played less minutes than him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do you know
Championship
what I'm talking
manager?
about? Go over to West Ham Clips and subscribe and like and all the rest of that shit and watch his he put Craig Dawson up front, Rob, and it was amazing.
I know.
I watched episode 4 in my bedroom last night and I pissed myself laughing because Craig Dawson was Golden Boot winner. 30 goals in a season, 33 goals. It was amazing.
Okay. Shall we carry on with the player ratings? How about give me a mark for 16-year-old, I'll say that again, 16 years of age, squad number 68, Oliver Scarles.
10. Rob, I can't. After I've whacked him and Mubama, I cannot give anything other than a 10.
Oh, you've just let the cat out of the bag on what you're going to give Divine.
It was going to be the same, mate. It didn't matter. Divine, I like it. Yeah, that was who Hugh Grant ended up with.
It's not Divine. I don't get it.
That was who Hugh Grant ended up with in a car on a. Yeah, exactly. He got done for that, didn't he? I give Scarles a 10, mate. I thought honestly, every time we got the ball, I felt he was in control. I felt he was composed. I felt that he was judging what was going on. The balls that he put into the box for Mubama to get on the end of, and we're talking Nat's dick, Rob, of a cigarette roll-up paper, kind of that close. Every ball he put in was nigh on millimetre perfect. But he calculated it all. It was like he was doing trigonometry in his head. It was superb. I mean, Trini says there 9 at 16. I'm going to give him a 10 at 16 because I tell you what, he was outstanding for me. I would go as far to say he was the best player on the pitch for West Ham tonight.
Can't disagree with that statement. He was my man of the match, that's for sure. Talk to me about the guy on the other flank, Mr. Kufal.
I did cringe when he went down like a sack of shit in the second half, and that knee went the way that it shouldn't have done. He went that way, and his knee went that way, and I kind of was like, "Oh, that looked really uncomfortable." And it just goes to show that I have no idea what I'm talking about, because within about 8 seconds, he was up on his feet and walking away. I'm going to give him a 7. 7, yeah. I mean, again, he coached what was in front of him. He worked with Downs. He worked with the guys inside. It did seem to me that the senior pros, if you want, Ogbonna, Agerd, Sufal, I'll say Downs, because when you when you think about it, Downs is one of the senior pros that was in this side tonight. Fornals and Lanzini, they did coach the kids through. You could see they was constant talking. They I won't say bodyguarded them, but I mentioned about Rooney and the enforcer stuff earlier. Lanzini and Fornals did a little bit of that tonight for Scarles and for Mubama. So, but no, with Sufal, I'll give him. I'll give him a. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Just before we go any further, we've got 28 of you watching. I don't know whether that's necessarily on YouTube, but if you're not watching on YouTube, could you do us a favour? Pop over to YouTube. And for the people that are watching on YouTube, could you just drop a like on the stream? It does help the old channel out, get the old algorithms going in a certain direction and all the rest of it. That really would be appreciated. Exactly what Patrick says there. Read my mind, mate. Read my mind. In fact, there's 31 of you now. Piling on that like button.
They must have
piling on it.
Over.
Even if you're going to sort of piss off in 5 minutes and make yourself a cup of tea or go and do what you got to do with your other half. I don't know. But
they've closed off over on Emma's chat.
Have that. So they're sort of both, we might get 2 of them. Okay, so we're going to central midfield. Thanks, guys, if you are putting... In fact, I'll just have a look. We got 20 likes. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Help us out. Right, Duke, talk to me about Manuel Lanzini.
I'm going to give him a 7. I'm actually going to give him a 5 out of 10, because he looked a bit chubby when he took his top off at the end of the game, when he was walking across the camera.
I thought that.
I put the picture in the chat. He did look a bit pulky, Rob.
I called him something very unflattering, didn't I?
I think you called him a fat cunt. I'm not going to lie. I think that might be.
I did.
No, I'm actually going to give him. I'm going to give him an 8. I actually thought, again, he coached the youngsters through. He.
Oh, I didn't see that, John. I didn't see that.
I'll tell you what, he's right.
Yeah, I was going to say, fair enough.
He scored in his debut against Brighton, though, didn't he? If my memory serves. I think it was his debut, Rob.
I thought his debut was away against Man City, wasn't it?
I don't think I care. It's too late in the beer. Shut up. No, I'm going to give Lanzini an 8. Like I say, he coached the kids through. There was a lot of talking between the youngsters, and I actually was really impressed with what we call the senior pros tonight around the kids. Yeah.
Fair enough. Connor Coventry. We've got 32 watching live now.
I'm going to give him an 8.
Likes. Come on, guys, help us out.
I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I think that he didn't look out of place. I know he spent, 2 years at Charlton? Was it 2 years at Charlton he spent, or a year? Let's say a year. Now. Spent a year at Charlton. He's probably.
I'll look it up. Hang on.
He's probably used to playing against chumps like this. So he didn't look out of place. You know what I mean? He looked comfortable.
That was Josh Cullen, wasn't it, at Charlton?
Oh, was it Cullen? Where's
Cullen?
Yeah.
No, he's been on loan at Lincoln, Peterborough, and Milton Keynes Dons.
Peterborough, that's where he was. Where's Cullen now? What's he doing?
He's at Burnley.
Oh, of course he is. He went
to Anderlecht, didn't he, with Vincent Kompany and Kompany.
No, Coventry. I think now's his time, Rob. Now's his time. He's got to start pressing for that kind of. Listen, I said to you yesterday, and I think I said it on the channel. If we decide to sell Sufal and Souček in January, it's not going to bother me too much.
Nah.
You
2
got
seasons ago, I'd have said you were mad.
You got Downs that can step into Suchek's role, and essentially what I saw tonight is true, Andy. What I've seen tonight is you could see Coventry stepping into Downs' shoes. Do you know what I mean? So you've got that rotation there. So yeah, I'm going to give him an 8, Rob. I think he played really well.
Manuel Lanzini. Pablo Fornals?
Oh, there's a 10 there, Rob.
10?
9. I'll be 9.
Okay.
You know, I'll tell you what, give Ollie... No, yeah, I can't give Ollie Scarles 10, and he's my man of the match. 9. Yeah, 9. 2, really, I'll tell you what, the first goal was so well taken. You're right, Andy, it does. His first goal was so well taken. Like,
yes.
he's not my man of the match. My man of the match is Ollie Scarles. But he runs him a close second. It was the goal was just superb. Bounces over his shoulder, across him. Let's clear that up. It comes across him, right foot back across keeper.
His first goal or second goal we're talking about? His first or his second goal we're talking about?
His first goal.
Yep.
The ball from Johnson drops across his shoulder, and then he pings it back with his right foot across the keeper. Really, really good goal. And yeah, as Patrick says there, first game to it, 20 games in Europe for West Ham.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Which is quite poor for a club of our size.
We're not Man United or Liverpool, are we?
No, I know. I see what you mean, but when you consider... But no, I thought he was brilliant. Really, again, coached those around him as well as the 2 goals. Superb.
Fair enough. Flynn Downs? Unlucky not to score, wasn't he?
I'm going to give him an 8. Again, I think he worked with those around him. Again, he's not what I'd consider to be one of the senior pros, if you know what I mean. In sounds really stupid because he's not a youngster, but he's not been around a Premier League club.
Thank you, Chris.
Long. Cheers, Chris. Thank you, my man. He's not been around a Premier League club that you could call him one of the senior pros if from that side of things.
Yeah.
But again, he coached those around him, Coventry, Scarles. You know, he worked with all of these youngsters, and it was really good to see. And you could see that to a degree, he's only been there for a short time himself, because the way he was working with those around him, kind of coaching them through the game, it was really good to see. I'll give him an 8. I can't give him a 9 because I've given my man of the match a 9. But yeah.
Fair enough. I think that leaves us with one player. And you said earlier what you were going to give him, but for people that didn't quite catch it, Divine Mubama.
Again, a 9.
Who was pronounced all sorts by Clive Allen on commentary.
Divine, yep, all that shit. No, I'm going to give him an 8, mate. Sorry, a 9. I just seen comment come through there. I'm going to give him an 8. No, a 9. Fuck mine. Stop drinking, Duke. A 9 for Mubama. I'll tell you what, Rob, he gets a 9 because he played like a number 9.
He did.
He was really... There was a couple of times he dropped deep and I was like, why is my centre forward playing alongside my CDM? What is this? And then the next thing I know, we're breaking and Scarles...
Oh, Trudge!
Trudge, behave yourself, son. I like you. No, there was a couple of times when the ball went out to Scarles and Mubama was playing near enough CDM. And then he's on the edge of the box, ready for that ball. Oh, I like it. I like it, Patrick. All day long. Don't get your coat. I'm on your side.
Very good, Patrick.
The ball comes in, and I think it might have even been the chance that Scarles set him up for. He was literally playing CDM in the middle of that break, and then was into the box. You wouldn't believe that Scarles and Mubama were 16 and 17. Like, stop it. Superb from the pair of them, and I am really looking forward to what comes next, Rob. I really am.
Oh, I think our official Forge from Iron Youth Academy correspondent needs to get to a few under 18s and under 21s game. I'm going to have a word with him.
I think I might start going myself, Rob. I think we might have to take a look at. We might have to do these ourselves and take a look at these kids because, although Trod says they're putting a few peaches of crosses, I think him, Mubama, Coventry, Cade and Casey, they might be peaches themselves. So I'm looking forward to them. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them.
Fair. Which I guess leaves us with one person to give a marking to, and that's the gaffer.
I'm going to give him a 10, Rob. Going to give him a 10. He brought the kids in. The kids didn't let him down. He had that confidence. I know we were talking about it doesn't matter, rada, it's a dead rubber, rada. But
which was true and still is.
But he took the kids, he played the kids, and he filled the bench with kids. He could have quite easily gone, okay, Skamaka, Antonio, Souček, Rice, Dorsey. He could have quite easily filled those. He could have quite easily filled those sub places with the big names. He didn't. There was only one senior pro on that bench, and that was Darren Randolph. And I'll give Moyes a 10 because he not only did he get the tactics right, he got the lineup and he gave the kids their chance. So all day long, I've got all the time in the world for that.
Cool. Right. Hello. What we got there? Moisty. Oh, that's terrible. Why is it some people get really sort of bent out of shape out of the word moist?
I love it.
In fact, I probably said it, and there's people at home that are cringing like that. It's like it's
love it. Moisty, moister the better. Moister than an oyster, Robert.
There you go. Right. Okay. So, any final things you want to get off your chest?
No, I need you to press the button for the food banks.
What? This button, you mean? Forge from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. I hope you washed your hands, Duke.
So what? I've never been so fucking quick in my life, Rob. Jesus.
You can probably guess what he was up to, ladies and gentlemen.
I was at that door quick, and you pressed start, and I was gone. Tell you what, Usain Bolt couldn't have even got off the blocks quicker than me. I'm telling you now. And yes, I did wash my hands.
Good lad. I did know that, Patrick. They did a little bit of jiggery pokery, didn't they, to put him in, but he wasn't actually there. They left a gap, and I think he was photographed at another point. I don't know what was going on. Dare say something was.
Was he busy with Alexandra Burke?
I got a funny feeling there was probably something like that going on.
I can fully understand if he was busy with Alexandra Burke. Let's not mess around.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good Photoshop, as Andy says there. I mean, I've seen the
photograph. Not seen it
a little bit.
I've not seen it.
Have you not?
No.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It does look. I reckon maybe I couldn't have done a better job, but my daughter definitely could have done.
I could have done. I'm doing really well with social media, Rob.
I've seen. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, right. We're going to hit the end button. There's 26 of you watching, though. We've got 25 likes. So one of you needs to help us out and put just one more. Just one like. That's all I want. And then we can end the stream and we can all go to bed. But until I get 26 likes, because there's 26 of you watching, so all one of you needs to do, if you haven't already done it, is go on to YouTube. And now we've got 25 viewers. One of them's pissed off, and we've only got 25 likes on. That's just ridiculous.
Hang on, Rob, I'm trying. Hang on, we are
rude. No need for it.
Is that the one?
What the hell's that?
Press mute. Oh, there you go. 25. You happy now?
Oh, okay. Well, it is, 25 likes.
That was me. I liked it. Don't worry about it. You're welcome.
That's allowed. Duke, what are we, mate?
We are massive, and the future is as orange as the kit, Robert.
Onwards to Saturday when we do the Crystal Palace preview. Come on, you Irons. Just before you all clear off, I will just give a real quick plug, if I may, to this. Duke and I will be going to this one. It's at the Rusk Club in Romford tomorrow. Tickets are £20 per person. You can call or text Ian at E13 Events on 07958 472 847. It's a Strikers event, part 1, featuring Marlon Harewood, Tony Cottee, David Cross, Trevor Morley, and Brian Deere, and is hosted by Tony Gale. We hope to see you there.